After nearly 3 weeks of March Madness, the men's college basketball season all comes down to tonight. Virginia and Texas Tech won their final 4 games on Saturday, and they will meet for tonight's championship game in Minneapolis. Reid Forgrave covers college basketball for CBS Sports, and he joins me now from the site of tonight's championship game. So, Reid, these are 2 defensive-minded teams who like to slow the pace. What kind of game do you expect to see, and what are some of the key factors, I guess, for victory?
This will be one of those games that if you're a coach, if you're a high school coach, you're going to love this. You're going to tell your players, guys, you got to watch this game. This is fundamental defense. And if you are just a casual basketball fan, you're going to be like, oh, this is what's wrong with college basketball. Look, Virginia, as you mentioned, slowest paced team in the country. Fewer possessions equals fewer scores, fewer baskets. That is just inevitable. And as far as Texas Tech, we talk about them being the #1 ranked defense in the country. That is understating things a little bit. What they're allowing is 83.8 points per 100 possessions. What does that mean? It means they not only have the #1 ranked defense in the country, but this is the best defense in the past 20 years in college basketball. Better than that Louisville team that won the national title in 2013. Better than the Kentucky team that almost went undefeated. And look, this is the final Monday of the college basketball season, so this is when we talk about history. Did a little bit of historical research for you. The lowest scoring game, national title game in college basketball history, 1941. We all remember that game, right?
Yeah,
Wisconsin
of course.
beat Washington State. Of course, yeah. Amazing game. 39-34, 73 points total. The lowest in the shot clock era, since that was introduced 30 to 40 years ago, was in 2011, UConn versus Butler, 53-41. That game brought up all sorts of hand-wringing about how college basketball presents itself. I don't think this game is going to certainly not beat that old 1941 championship game, but it's going to be in that low 100s over-under. This is going to be a very, very low-scoring game.
All right, so let me ask you about this. There are a couple of NBA prospects in this game, DeAndre Hunter for Virginia and Jarrett Culver for Texas Tech. Which players do you think need to have a major impact for their teams to be successful, and what happens after college?
You know, both of these guys are lottery picks. When you talk to NBA scouts, they're a little bit torn on both of them. This is not a very good draft, not a very deep draft this year. These guys will certainly go in the lottery, could both go as high as the top 5. To me, Jarrett Culver is more important to his team than DeAndre Hunter is to his. We saw DeAndre Hunter in that Final Four game really struggle in that first half, and then he came out firing in the second half. He floated the first half, played with lots of aggression in the second half. Jarrett Culver, however, had frankly one of his worst games of the season. He could barely score the ball, and Texas Tech still pulled out a dominating victory. But for Texas Tech to win against such a tightly knit Virginia team, I really think Jarrett Culver has to be his old self. He can't go missing shots. He can't have 1 point throughout the entire first half like he did on Saturday night.
All right, let's talk coaching. Marquee coaching matchup between Virginia's Tony Bennett and Chris Beard from Texas Tech. Which team do you think has the edge when it comes to coaching?
I got to be honest, can I call it a tie? Because these are 2 of the best coaches in college basketball. With Chris Beard, this is a very new name on the scene, and he is already considered, I think, universally a top 10 coach in the sport, one of the hottest young coaching names in the sport. He has this fascinating background where 8 years ago, he's coaching for a semi-pro team in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Since then, he's coached Division II, Division III, and here he is 3 years in to historically one of the more difficult high major jobs in college basketball, and he has them to their first Final Four ever. On Tony Bennett's side, this is a guy that those basketball minds absolutely love. One is because he's just such a fundamentally sound coach. Offensively, this is a very methodical team. Defensively, they know their identity. What I think is even more interesting about Tony Bennett is how he builds this culture, and frankly, how he's dealt with this team from a psychological standpoint. Remember, 1 year ago, they had the worst loss in NCAA tournament history when they lost to the 16 seed UMBC. What Tony Bennett has done since then, he spoke about this the past few days, is attack this very intentionally. Confront their demons. Kyle Guy, the guy who made 3 free throws with 0.6 seconds left to win the game for Virginia, he's kept a picture on his phone of that UMBC loss for the past year. It's the wallpaper for his phone. He looks at it every day, and what he says is staring at the worst moment of your basketball career, he doesn't want to forget that. It gives him inspiration and makes him a better person and a better basketball player in the long run.
All right, we'll be watching. Reid Forgrave, my man, thank you very much.